Hello and welcome to Idea TV News Update. I am Chinatu Oji. We begin with the headlines. Federal government FAO launched 200 million naira aquaculture project to boost local fish production. Youth Climate Summit kicks off in Abuja with focus on green economy. ICAN new president pledges tech reforms. NEMA deploys teams as flood hit Niger State. Nasarawa begins crackdown on illegal mining. In health, diphtheria outbreak claims lives in Edo. Nigeria to spend 1.42 trillion on cervical cancer by 2030. In business, Naira slides to 1,620 Naira to dollar per dollar, I beg your pardon, as IATA projects $336 billion global airline profits for 2025. Now the news in full. The federal government, in partnership with the Food and Agriculture Organization, has launched a 200 million naira aquaculture support initiative to boost local fish production and reduce Nigeria's heavy reliance on fish imports. The project, which kicked off yesterday at the Everywhere Fish Farming cluster in Odogbo, Ogun State, is part of the Scaling Fish Farming Through Finance initiative under the Fish for ACP program. Backed by the European Union and other development partners, the scheme aims to enhance access to finance for fish farmers and close the country's fish production gap. Nigeria currently imports about 2 million metric tons of fish annually. Under the pilot phase, 40 fish farmers will receive between 2.5 million naira and 5 million naira each to expand their operations. Officials say the project will help strengthen fish farming capacity, create new aquaculture business opportunities, and support the long-term sustainability of Nigeria's fisheries. Moving on, the first ever Youth Climate Summit kicked off today in Abuja, organized by Clean Technology Hub in collaboration with the Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua Foundation and NG Youth SDGs. The summit themed Bridging Skills to Solution, Youth Pathways in the Green Economy, brought together young people, stakeholders, policy advocates, and green innovators from across Nigeria. The event offered strategic insight into governance and grassroots reforms with exhibitions of climate-friendly inventions. Participants explored practical solutions to climate challenges while building skills for leadership in clean energy and sustainability. Let's take a look at the report.
So that you cannot just be hearing climate change when you graduate and it's strange to you. From the university, you will have been taught about climate change.
Today's event is an assembly of young people from diverse school of thoughts who have come to identify opportunities in the sustainability, in the broad discourse of sustainability, climate change, renewable energy, waste management, and climate smart agriculture, food security, and all of that.
And it's been amazing. Today I was able to learn into looking deeply into the core agreements. That's the Paris Agreement and the subsequent ones, and how to contribute significantly to the NDC.
Yeah, some of the challenges I face as a researcher in this country, Nigeria, is one of it is insecurity. As you all know, that the Nigeria is unsafe for us, and that was even one of the reasons we came up with the idea of building a bulletproof car, which I work with a company for, so that we can go to those insecure areas that there are bandits and all, so we know that our lives are secured.
Sadiq Shukrat. I'm a student of Premier Academy, Abuja, and this is a solar-powered multi-purpose agricultural robot that performs the function of 3 different machines, which are plowing, planting, and watering. And instead of making use of different engines that can generate heat and cause like emission of greenhouse gases into the environment, it makes use of the solar panel. And the body parts and the components are made use of non-biodegradable waste that would normally or generally contribute to like the waste products in our environment.
One thing I'll be doing differently is that I would take action without looking at what any other person is saying.
Chinatu Oji reporting for Idea TV. The new president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Haruna Yahaya, has pledged digital transformation, global certification pathways, and youth empowerment as part of his 10-point agenda when in office. Yahaya made this revelation yesterday during his acceptance speech as the 61st president of ICAN. He succeeded Davidson Alaribe, who was the 60th president of the institute. He said, as the world is racing forward on the wings of digital innovation, the institution must not be left behind. In today's fast-evolving landscape, digital transformation is no longer a strategic option. It is an existential imperative. Just as commerce, education, and communication have undergone sweeping digital revolutions, so too must the certification process that molds the chartered accountants of tomorrow. During this presidential year, we are embarking on a bold and forward-looking journey to fully digitize the ICANN examination process. This transformation will be executed in carefully designed phases beginning from November 2025, the president said. The National Emergency Management Agency has deployed response and advocacy teams to 15 high-risk states following severe flooding that struck Mokwa in Niger State yesterday. Over 200 lives have been lost, with hundreds still missing after torrential rains overwhelmed the town, which lies in a known gully area. The disaster, which caught many residents unprepared, is the sixth flood recorded in Niger State this year. Authorities say unregulated construction and blocked water channels worsened the impact. Despite previous alerts, the affected communities failed to evacuate. NEMA officials, including the Director General, were on site within 24 hours, coordinating search, rescue, and public sensitization. The agency has expanded its anti-flooding campaign to all 36 states and the FCT, focusing on early warnings, emergency response, and community-level evacuation planning. States currently being targeted include Kogi, Adamawa, Taraba, Borno, Zamfara, Katsina, Enugu, Imo, and the FCT. Emergency drills, first aid training, and local committee integration are underway. The federal government, through the Ministry of Water Resources, has clarified that the flood was not caused by dam releases from Kainji or Jaba, but rather by extreme rainfall linked to climate change and blocked natural drainage paths. Residents in flood-prone areas are urged to remain alert and cooperate with emergency response teams as the rainy season intensifies. In Nasarawa State, the state government has begun a coordinated crackdown on illegal mining activities across its 13 local government areas. This enforcement, which started yesterday, follows a renewed partnership between the state and security agencies to arrest and prosecute illegal miners. The move comes amid growing concerns from the State House of Assembly over environmental damage and unregulated operations, particularly in Kokuna local government area. Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism Ibrahim Tanko announced the operation during a press briefing in Lafia to mark Governor Abdullahi Sule's second term anniversary. He said illegal mining poses risk to the environment and undermines law-abiding local miners. The government insists all mining companies must comply with licensing procedures or risk shutdown. Tanko also commended the governor's effort in attracting investors and creating jobs in the mining sector. Surveillance has now been intensified and any site operating outside the law will be sealed. Meanwhile, the Commissioner for Youth and Sport Development confirmed that 3 new mini stadia will be constructed, one in each senatorial district. We go on a quick break now. The news continues when we return. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Still Idea TV News Updates. Now the rest of the stories. Moving on to health, a diphtheria outbreak has been confirmed in Edo State with 2 deaths recorded among 5 reported cases. The confirmation came from the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, prompting an emergency response meeting in Benin City. Edo State Health Commissioner says the situation is serious and requires urgent action. A rapid response team has been deployed with efforts focused on surveillance, contact tracing, public sensitization, and ensuring vaccine access. Health partners, including WHO and UNICEF, support the state containment efforts. Residents are now advised to stay alert, report symptoms like sore throat, fever or breathing difficulty, and avoid close contact with sick individuals. Nigeria began a major push to eliminate cervical cancer yesterday with the launch of a national initiative expected to cost 1.42 trillion naira by 2030. The program, called the Partnership to Eliminate Cervical Cancer in Nigeria, was launched at the State House and is led by the National Task Force on Cervical Cancer Elimination. It focuses on HPV vaccination, screening and treatment. Projections show that the cost of treating invasive cervical cancer will drop from 8.7 million naira per patient in 2026 to 4.1 million naira by 2030. Nearly 300,000 women expected to need treatment within this period. Primary prevention through HPV vaccination will cost over 426 billion naira, while screening for 14.4 million women is projected at 351 billion naira over the next 5 years. So far, 14 million girls aged 9 to 14 have received the HPV vaccine since the campaign launched in October 2023. Health authorities say the vaccine is now part of routine immunization and efforts are underway to strengthen service delivery across the country. A national strategic plan for cervical cancer prevention and control has also been developed, covering 2023 to 2037, with a focus on research, treatment protocols, and awareness campaigns. And finally, in business, the naira weakened in the parallel market yesterday, sliding to 1,620 naira per dollar from 1,610 on Monday. However, in the official Nigerian foreign exchange market, it appreciated slightly to 1,579 naira from 1,580, according to central bank data. Meanwhile, the International Air Transport Association is projecting global airline profits to hit $36 billion in 2025, up from $32.4 billion in 2024. Africa's airlines are expected to post just $200 million in profit, reflecting persistent challenges such as high operational costs, limited aircraft availability, and forex constraints. Despite these hurdles, demand for air travel in Africa remains strong. Globally, the industry is expected to generate record revenues of $979 billion, with nearly 5 billion passengers forecast in 2025. Regionally, North America leads with $12.7 billion in projected profits, followed by Europe at $11.3 billion. The Middle East is set to record the highest profit margin at 8.7%, while Asia Pacific and Latin America will earn $4.9 billion and $1.1 billion, respectively. And that is all we have for your Nigeria TV News update. But before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. Federal government and FAO launched 200 million naira aquaculture project to boost local fish production. Youth Climate Summit kicks off in Abuja with focus on green economy. ICANN new president pledges tech reforms. NEMA deploys teams as flood hits Niger State. Nasarawa begins crackdown on illegal mining. In health, diphtheria outbreak claims 2 lives in Edo State. Still in health, Nigeria to spend 1.42 trillion naira on cervical cancer by 2030. In business, naira slides to 1,620 per dollar as IATA projects $36 billion global airline profits for 2025. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Chinatu Oji. Thanks for watching.